When young Jock decided to speak on Kendrick Lamar, nobody expected what came next. In a world where most rappers stay silent about hip-hop's elite, Jock broke the code. During a live interview, he threw shade so bold that even veteran hosts froze mid-sentence. Within hours, clips went viral, Kendrick's name trending at #1. But what started as a casual comment turned into, a full-blown firestorm. Fans demanded answers. Did young Jock just challenge one of the most respected lyricists of our generation? Or was there something deeper, a long-simmering tension hidden behind industry smiles? Insiders say Kendrick heard every word, and his quiet, calculated response didn't just shut down the noise, it flipped the entire conversation about respect, legacy, and real artistry. This is the story of how one man's outburst lit a fuse and how Kendrick Lamar turned the explosion into a masterclass in control. It all began on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon until young Jock went live. He was on Street's 94.5 FM, sitting back in his chair laughing with the hosts. The vibe was casual, loose, pure Atlanta energy. They were discussing the state of hip-hop, who's running it, who's fading out, who's really pushing the culture forward. Then one of the hosts threw out a question that changed everything. Be real, Jock. Do you think Kendrick Lamar still deserves all that hype? The room went silent for a second. Jock smirked, leaned toward the mic, and said the line that would echo across social media for weeks. Kendrick, man, he cool. But half these so-called geniuses only look deep because the rest of y'all, too shallow. The studio gasped. The host blinked. Someone off-camera whispered, he didn't just say that, did he? Within minutes, that clip was sliced, edited, and uploaded everywhere. X, TikTok, YouTube shorts, each with captions like young Jock calls out Kendrick Lamar for being overrated and Jock just ended his career in 10 seconds. Followed wasn't just viral, it was explosive. The internet react sat first. People thought Jock was joking. But when he doubled down later in the interview, things got serious. Don't get me wrong, he continued. Kendrick's talented. But let's stop acting like he reinvented rap. I came up in an era where you had to move the crowd and the charts. Nowadays, folks drop one poetic verse and y'all call it scripture. Boom, that was it. The line hit like a thunderclap across timelines. Young Joc trended at #2 in the US. Hashtag Kendrick Lamar hit #1. Meme pages went wild. Some mocked Jock. Others agreed quietly, saying the industry does over-intellectualize Kendrick. But the overwhelming reaction, shock. Hip-hop Twitter called it career suicide. TikTok creators stitched the clip with "Bro, you poked the wrong bear." Still, Jock didn't back down. Hours later, he went live again, this time on Instagram, saying, "I said what I said. Ain't no disrespect, just truth. K. But anyone who knows the culture knows that truth is just another word for war." The media stormed by the next morning. Every hip-hop outlet had picked up the story. The Shade Room posted a headline, "Young Jock questions Kendrick Lamar's status as a rap genius, fans react." Complex tweeted, "Is Jock clout chasing or calling out real issues?" Even radio legends weighed in. Charlemagne the God called the comments reckless, but refreshing. DJ Academic said Jock must have woke up and chose streaming numbers. And behind the scenes, industry insiders whispered that Jock might have just sabotaged himself. "You don't go after Kendrick," one A&R told a podcast. "He don't argue back. He buries you quietly." Yet that's exactly what made the drama so magnetic. Jock was saying out loud what others only dared to whisper. The underlying tension. To understand why Jock's words hit so hard, you have to look deeper than the headlines. Jock isn't just another rapper trying to trend. He's from a generation that hustled differently. Club bangers, street records, mixtapes back when streams didn't define you. The crowd did. For years, Jock had watched new school lyricists like Kendrick redefine what hip-hop meant. Dense verses, metaphors, political messages. While most respected it, some old-school artists felt left behind, like their style had been labeled less intelligent. So when Jock spoke that day, it wasn't just shade, it was frustration. A cry from a generation that built the stage, others now dominate. Still, timing is everything. And Jack's timing couldn't have been worse. Kendrick had just come off a string of massive wins, critical acclaim, a sold-out tour, and rumors of another masterpiece in the works. So, when Jock threw his jab, it looked less like a critique and more like envy. The calm before the clapback now. Here's where things get eerie. Kendrick didn't say a single word. No tweet, no video. No mention, but silence when it comes from Kendrick Lamar isn't peace. It's pressure. Within days, cryptic signs started appearing. First, a tweet from Top Dog Entertainment's official account. Some folks talk loud because their echo's fading. Fans lost it. Was that about Jock? Was it Kendrick himself? Then a short clip surfaced online, grainy studio footage showing Kendrick scribbling in a notebook. No sound, no caption. Just his hand moving across the page, then stopping. The post blew up instantly, clocking millions of views. Comments flooded in. He's writing a response. Jock better disappear. Kendrick's about to end another career. It was like watching a storm form in slow motion. The power of silence while the internet speculated. Jock started realizing he might have bitten off more than he could chew. His DMs filled with messages, some supportive, most not. Industry friends stopped answering calls. Podcast invites dried up. But instead of retreating, Jock leaned in. He posted a selfie captioned, "If telling the truth gets me canceled, then cancel the cap first." That single sentence sparked a second wave of controversy. Meanwhile, Kendrick's team stayed dead silent, but journalists noticed subtle movements. A rumored listening session in LA, a mysterious private event hosted by PG Long. A few artists close to Kendrick tweeting vague lines, like they woke the poet up. At this point, the question wasn't if Kendrick would respond, it was how. The cultural divide by the weekend. Hip-hop was split. On one side were fans defending Jock's honesty, calling him brave for questioning the industry's obsession with fake depth. On the other side were Kendrick loyalists, saying Jock was clout-chasing off a man whose artistry was beyond comparison. Podcasters dissected every line of the original interview. Some praised Jock for bringing balance to a one-sided conversation about lyricism. Others accused him of bitterness and desperation. But beneath all that noise, a deeper narrative was forming. This wasn't just young Jock versus Kendrick Lamar. It was old school bravado versus new school introspection. And that clash between raw energy and refined thought was about to explode by the time Monday rolled around. The world was watching. Everyone waited for Kendrick's move. Would he drop a verse? Would he ignore Jock and let silence destroy him? The answer was something no one saw coming, because when Kendrick finally broke his silence, it wasn't through a diss track. It was through an idea so powerful, it flipped the entire situation on its head. Stay tuned for part 2, where we break down Kendrick's shocking move, the message behind it, and why it left even young Jock speechless. #YoungJOC, #Kendrick Lamar, #hip-hop drama. 3 days had passed since young Jock's interview, and the industry was still buzzing. Some called it bravery, others called it stupidity. But everyone agreed on one thing. Kendrick's silence was unnerving. Whenever Kendrick Lamar stays quiet, it's never accidental. The man has built an entire legacy on patience, precision, and timing that feels almost supernatural. Fans call it Kendrick's silence mode, when he vanishes just long enough to make the world uneasy. And that's exactly what he did. The unexpected response then, out of nowhere. Kendrick's team posted a 20-second clip on his official YouTube channel. No title, no intro, just a black screen with the faint sound of a metronome clicking. After 5 seconds, a single phrase appeared in white text. Some men talk to be heard. Others talk to be remembered. And then cut. That's it. No beat drop. No bars, no music. Just silence. Within an hour, the clip had over 3 million views. People flooded the comments section. This man just destroyed Jock without even rapping. That's not a diss. That's a eulogy. The entire internet treated it like a mic drop. Kendrick hadn't said Jock's name, but he didn't need to. Every fan, every blogger, every podcaster knew exactly who the message was for. Jock's reaction when young Jock saw the clip, he laughed it off on Instagram Live. "That's what we doing now," he said, posting words on black screens. "I must have hit a nerve." But behind the jokes, sources say Jock was rattled. Friends close to him told outlets that he didn't expect Kendrick to respond that way. Jock had been preparing for a lyrical Batala diss track, a freestyle, maybe even a subliminal verse. But this was psychological warfare. Because here's the thing about Kendrick, he doesn't just clap back. He makes you question yourself. The post didn't insult Jock, it minimized him. And in hip-hop, that's worse than any diss. That's worse than any diss. The industry reacts within hours. Talk shows, podcasts, and hip-hop panels were dissecting the meaning behind Kendrick's post. Hot 97 called it the most poetic destruction since Control. Joe Budon said, "That's how you ether someone without picking up a ga." Mike, even old-school icons like Ice, Cube, and Scarface were quoted saying they respected the elegance of the move. But not everyone was impressed. Some fans argued that Kendrick was being arrogant, too self-important to engage. In a fair lyrical fight, if he's that confident, drop a verse, one user wrote. All this mysterious energy is getting corny. And that's when Jock decided to double down again. Jock fights back 2 nights later. Jock went live once more, this time joined by a few fellow Southern rappers. They discussed the new age of fake deep hip-hop. Jock didn't mention Kendrick directly, but his tone made it obvious. "I respect lyricists, but don't act like y'all saving the world with rhymes," Jock said. "Music's supposed to move people, not put 'em to sleep." His live peaked at 120K viewers. Comments flooded with fire emojis, laughter, and plenty of trolling. Some fans supported him, saying the South rarely gets credit for shaping the sound of modern rap. Others accused him of digging a deeper hole. One viral tweet summed it up. Young Jock fighting ghosts while Kendrick meditating on Mount Genius. Still, Jock's message resonated with part of the culture, especially those tired of overanalyzing lyrics instead of feeling the vibe that may be. For a moment, he had a point. Kendrick's move, but Kendrick wasn't done. The following Friday, fans discovered something wild. Kendrick had quietly uploaded a new track to SoundCloud under his PG Lang handle. No promotion, no announcement. The file name, remembered, was a 2-minute spoken word piece over a minimalist piano loop. He never said Jock's name once, but the subtext was undeniable. They chase noise because silence scares them. They call it confidence until the crowd stops clapping. Then they ask for validation from the same echo chamber that forgot them. Every line hit like a dagger. It wasn't aggressive, it was reflective, surgical, philosophical. And then came the final verse, "If the shoe don't fit, why you running?" That single line became a meme overnight. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram filled with clips, captions, and edits. Fans paired the quote with Jock's laughing face from his last Instagram Live. It was everywhere. Kendrick had done it. Again, no shouting, no cursing, no naming names. Just bars that felt eternal. Jock's single quotes as fallout within 24 hours. Jock's tone changed. He posted a short video saying, "Look, I ain't beefing with nobody. I just gave my opinion." But by then, the narrative had already been written. The hip-hop community viewed the exchange as another sample of Kendrick's unmatched composure. Podcasts dubbed it the lesson of silence. Playlists started circulating Kendrick's remembered clip as if it were a track from To Pimp a Butterfly. Meanwhile, Jock's streaming numbers temporarily spiked, but for all the wrong reasons. Fans weren't revisiting his classics out of nostalgia. They were digging through his catalog for punchlines to meme. And then came the think pieces. Articles titled How Young Jock Accidentally Proved Kendrick's Point and When Talking Too Loud Backfires. The turning point, despite the blowback, Jock refused to delete his posts. In one interview, he admitted, "Maybe I said it wrong, but I stand on realness. I ain't scared of nobody." That honesty earned him back some respect. A few veterans even defended him. Boosie Bottas tweeted, "At least Jock speaking his mind. Too many scared to talk about real hip-hop." It was clear now this wasn't just about Jock and Kendrick. It had become a generational conversation. Flashy hits versus timeless art. Commercial success versus cultural impact. And Kendrick. He stayed quiet again. No follow-up, no public appearances. Just disappeared back into the studio haze. Some fans swore they saw him recording in Compton. Others claimed PG Lang was planning a documentary about ego and evolution in hip-hop. Nothing was confirmed, but one thing was clear. Kendrick had won without throwing a single punch, the lesson by the end of that week. Young Jock had gone from trending controversy to cultural cautionary tale. He reminded everyone of a truth older than hip-hop itself. Sometimes, the loudest voice in the room is only loud because it's empty. Still, Jock's moment mattered. He forced people to talk about something real, the gap between authenticity and artistry. He made the culture ask, what does it mean to be real in rap anymore? In a way, both men contributed to the same conversation, one through chaos, the other through calm. But the story wasn't over yet. Rumors began swirling that Jock wasn't done. He was reportedly back in the studio working on a new record titled Unfiltered. Was it a comeback or a last stand? That's what we'll uncover next. Stay tuned for part 3, where Jock's unfiltered sessions leak online, shocking fans. And Kendrick's camp quietly prepares something no one saw coming. #YoungJOC. #Kendrick Lamar. #rap drama. #PG Lang. Its single quotes has been 2 weeks since Kendrick Lamar dropped his cryptic track Remembered. The industry had moved on, or so it seemed. Young Jock had gone quiet. No more interviews, no more lives. People assumed he'd learned his lesson. But behind the scenes, Jock wasn't licking his wounds. He was plotting. Sources close to him told the Shade Room that Jock had been spending long nights in an Atlanta studio, cooking up something raw and unfiltered. The name kept popping up again and again. Unfiltered. No label backing. No major promo. Just Jock, a mic, and his truth. The studio leaks then. One night around 1:37 a.m. A mysterious SoundCloud link began circulating in private hip-hop group chats. It wasn't posted on Jock's page, came from an anonymous account titled Back to Reality. The track was labeled Unfiltered Rough Cut. It started with static. Then Jock's unmistakable voice cut through. "I heard silence can kill, but so can truth." And for the next 4 minutes, young Jock unloaded. No gimmicks. No auto-tune. Just raw, unfiltered bars about fame, respect, and the industry's obsession with image over message. He didn't name Kendrick directly, but every verse dripped with references. He meditates. I medicate, both coping in different ways. Boutoir, Hente, Trute, Fides, who really winning these mental games. The internet lost it by morning. Unfiltered Rough Cut had been shared across every major rap blog. Fans debated whether it was a diss, a confession, or a masterpiece. Some said it was Jock's redemption arc. Others called it a desperate move to stay relevant. But one thing was undeniable. He had the culture's attention. Again, the Public Reacts podcasts immediately began dissecting every line. DJ Academics went live for 2 hours breaking down Jock's bars. He said, "This ain't no direct diss, but it's personal. Jock talking like a man tired of being misunderstood. It's deeper than rap this time." Charlemagne Tha God chimed in the next morning on The Breakfast Club. "I respect Jock for speaking his mind. But let's be real, Kendrick operates on a different frequency. Jock can't win a chess game when he's playing checkers." Still, even critics admitted that Jock's emotion hit hard. #Unfiltered started trending on X, formerly Twitter. With over 2.3 million posts in 24 hours, fans posted reaction videos, dissecting lyrics and speculating whether Kendrick would respond. One viral post read, "This ain't beef. This is therapy in public." Jock speaks 2 days later. Young Jock broke his silence. He appeared on IG Live again, but this time he wasn't loud or defensive. He was calm, almost reflective. "People think I was dissing Kendrick," he said. "Nah, I was speaking about how this game treats artists like disposable legends. One moment you're the voice of the streets. Next, they call you washed up." He paused, then smiled slightly. "But if Kendrick heard something in that and felt it, I hope it sparked something real." That clip went viral instantly. Many took it as Jock extending an olive branch. Others thought it was a smart PR move. But behind closed doors, Kendrick's camp wasn't ignoring it. PG Lang moves in silence, Kendrick's label. PG Lang had reportedly been monitoring everything. One insider told Complex, "Kendrick's not emotional, but he's aware. He sees the bigger picture. This is all energy feeding his next move." And they were right. 3 days later, PG Lang posted a short teaser on Instagram, a blurry photo of Kendrick standing in front of a wall covered with the words, "Who defines real?" The caption read simply, "Incoming transmission, 10.10.25 fans exploded." Theories flooded social media. It's a new single. It's a documentary response to Unfiltered. It's a collab. Kendrick and Jock joining forces. The last theory caught traction fast. Because, surprisingly, Jock liked the post. The conspiracy by this point. Hip-hop Twitter was divided into camps. Team Kendrick believed Jock was trying to stay relevant by baiting a lyrical genius. Team Jock believed Kendrick had become too above the people and Jock was bringing rawness back. But then a new twist hit the timeline. A leaked text thread allegedly between a PG Lang intern and a media rep surfaced, claiming that Kendrick's 10.1025 project was called The Mirror Stage, and one of the featured artists was rumored to be young Jock. Could it be true? Was this entire feud a setup? Fans debated relentlessly. Some said it was marketing genius. Others said it was betrayal. How could Kendrick fake beef with someone from the culture just to drop music? Still, the buzz worked. Hashtag The Mirror Stage started trending worldwide. Jock's transformation, meanwhile. Jock leaned into the newfound attention differently this time. He began using his platform to talk about mental health, the cost of fame, and the importance of legacy. "I ain't ashamed of falling off," he said in a recent podcast. "What matters is standing back up. That's real." His authenticity started winning people over again. He wasn't just the guy from It's Going Down anymore. He was becoming something new, an elder voice with scars and stories that mattered. You could see the shift online. Fans wrote things like, "Jock aging like fine wine FR." He really turned clown talk into consciousness. Even Kendrick fans started showing cautious respect. The big surprise then came October 10th, 2025, at exactly midnight. PG Lang dropped a visual titled The Mirror Stage on YouTube. The opening shot. A cracked mirror. A silhouette sitting in a chair, and then a voice. Not Kendrick's, young Jock's. He recited spoken word. "The reflection ain't the problem. The problem is believing it's all you'll ever be." Then the beat hit jazzy, smooth, haunting. Kendrick's voice followed. "We talk to heal, not to hurt. I never dissed you. Brother just reminded you what words are worth." Fans lost it. It wasn't a diss track, it was a conversation. The two traded verses, weaving between introspection and reconciliation. Jock owned his mistakes. Kendrick offered perspective. Together, they built one of the most mature, layered collaborations hip-hop had seen in years. The video ended with both artists sitting in silence. As the screen faded to black and the words appeared, "Sometimes you need the argument to find the truth." The aftermath: within hours, The Mirror Stage broke the internet. Millions of views, think pieces everywhere. Even J. Cole and Drake reposted clips. People called it the grown man moment hip-hop needed. No beef, no fake bravado. Just art, accountability, and evolution. Jock's redemption arc was complete. Kendrick's legend grew even more. It was proof that real artistry doesn't always end. In destruction, it can lead to transformation. And just like that, what started as a call-out turned into a cultural moment that united fans instead of dividing them. Next, Part 4, 1,000 Words. Behind the scenes of the Mirror stage, the truth about Kendrick and Jock's alliance revealed. Hashtag Kendrick Lamar, hashtag Young JOC, hashtag the Mirror stage, hashtag hip hop evolution, hashtag PG Lang the morning after the Mirror stage dropped. The internet was chaos. YouTube, TikTok, X, every platform was flooded with reactions. Clips of Kendrick and Jock's verses went viral. Hashtags like hashtag the Mirror stage, hashtag real men rap, and hashtag evolve not beef trended for 3 days straight. But behind the scenes, something even bigger was happening. Because what no one knew was how this feud had secretly evolved into one of the most masterfully orchestrated collaborations hip-hop had ever seen. The origin story, it all started months earlier, after young Jock's first viral remarks about Kendrick. Insiders say a close mutual contact reached out, a quiet but powerful figure in Atlanta's music scene known only as OG Tone. Tone had worked with everyone from T.I. to J. Cole. He respected both artists. And he saw something deeper in the noise and opportunity to make the culture talk again. According to studio insiders, Tone told Jock, "You already poked the bear, lil bro. Now let's see if you can stand next to him instead of under him." Jock reportedly laughed, but he listened. Tone then reached out to Kendrick's PG Long circle. The initial response? Silence. Kendrick wasn't interested in clout narratives. But after hearing snippets of Jock's rough studio freestyles, same raw emotion that later became unfiltered, Kendrick changed his tone. He didn't see competition. He saw reflection. He's saying what a lot of men feel, Kendrick allegedly told PG Long execs. And that's a mirror worth holding up. And that's when the seeds for the Mirror stage were planted. Secret sessions industry. Reports later confirmed that both artists quietly recorded their parts in completely different cities, Jock in Atlanta, Kendrick in Los Angeles. They never met face-to-face during production. Everything was sent through encrypted PG Long servers. Producers involved in the process described the energy as raw, spiritual, and layered. One of them, an engineer nicknamed Shy Beats, told Complex, Kendrick didn't give instructions. He gave questions. Every verse Jock sent, Kendrick would respond with more reflection instead of rebuttal. It was like two brothers learning each other's pain. The final mix took nearly 2 months. Each line was revised for balance, no ego, no dominance. Just conversation. By the time the final version was ready, both men had already agreed on one thing. No one would know until release day. The visual shoot the Mirror stage video wasn't shot in a flashy studio or Hollywood set. It was filmed in an abandoned warehouse in South Central La. The director, a PG Long visual artist known as Colo Reed, revealed that Jock's parts were filmed remotely and composited later. The cracked mirror motif represented how both men viewed themselves through distorted lenses of fame, criticism, and ego. One haunting detail only sharp-eyed viewers caught in the final shot. Kendrick's reflection disappears before Jock's. When asked about it, Colo said, because Kendrick never saw Jock as his rival. He saw him as a version of himself before peace. That symbolism alone sent fans spiraling. YouTube was flooded with video essays decoding every frame. The industry reacts once the project dropped. Industry insiders couldn't stay quiet. Rolling Stone called it the most emotionally intelligent moment hip-hop has seen in a decade. Complex dubbed it conflict turned communion. Even Drake's producer 40 tweeted, "This is what happens when grown men stop competing and start connecting." But there were skeptics. Some accused PG Lang of staging the entire feud for publicity. Others claimed Jock had been used as a marketing pawn. Yet, Jock addressed it head-on in an interview with Nora on Drink Champs. "If being used means I gotta tell my truth and inspire some brothers to talk out instead of shoot out, then use me again." The audience applauded. That clip alone racked up over 8 million views. Jock's redemption before the mirror stage. Young Jock's career was often reduced to memes and nostalgia. But this moment changed everything. Radio shows started playing both Unfiltered and the mirror stage in rotation. Jock began receiving calls from labels again, offers for podcast hosting, documentaries, and brand partnerships focused on authenticity and growth. And perhaps the biggest moment came when Kendrick himself gave Jock a shout-out during a surprise live event in Compton. Kendrick paused mid-performance, pointed to the audience and said, "Respect to anyone brave enough to face their reflection. That's real courage." That's at IAM Young JOC. The crowd erupted. Jock, sitting quietly in the VIP section, stood up and put his hand over his heart. That video alone became one of the most viewed clips of the year. #Kendrick Lamar, #Young JOC trended globally again. The message behind it all, what made this story special, wasn't just the music hit, was the message. Two men from different worlds, Compton consciousness and Atlanta street legacy, showed that disagreement doesn't have to end in destruction. As one fan commented, "They didn't give us a diss track. They gave us emotional literacy through hip-hop." Teachers started showing the track in high school classrooms. Therapy podcasts referenced it as an example of masculine healing in public art. Kendrick and Jock had accidentally sparked a cultural movement. The final word in an interview with Billboard. Kendrick finally spoke on the record. "People think this was about ego. It wasn't. It was about reflection. We're all mirrors of each other. When you see someone act out, sometimes that's you, just in a different season." He smiled, paused, and added, "Young Jock reminded me why I started rapping in the first place. To tell the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it gets." As for Jock, he posted a final message on X that summed up his transformation perfectly. "I started out talk and reckless. Ended up talking real. Growth ain't glamorous, but it's necessary." That post hit 1 million likes in 24 hours. The legacy of the mirror stage, months later. The collaboration was nominated for Best Rap Performance and Video of the Year at the BET Awards. During the show, both artists appeared on stage together for the first time. No grand entrances. No drama, just a handshake, a nod, and a shared bow. The crowd stood on their feet. Legends like Nas, Common, and Missy Elliott watched proudly from the front row. It wasn't just another song, it was a cultural moment. A statement that hip-hop could evolve without losing its edge. That rivalry could birth revelation. That vulnerability was the new flex. As Kendrick said during his acceptance speech that night, "This wasn't about winning. This was about healing. Because before we save the culture, we gotta save ourselves." Mic drop. And that's how what started as a call-out became a generational anthem of growth and unity. Kendrick and Young Jock didn't just end a feud, they redefined what strength looks like in hip-hop. The mirror stage. Kendrick Lamar, #Young JOC, #Hip-Hop Evolution, #PG Lang. And there you have it, from controversy to clarity, from beef to brotherhood. What started as a call-out turned into one of the most unexpected collaborations in hip-hop history. Kendrick Lamar and Young Jock proved something the industry rarely shows, that real men don't just fight with bars. They grow with them. But what do you think? Was this all organic growth or a carefully crafted master plan by @PG Lang? Drop your thoughts below and don't hold back. If you're vibing with this story, hit that like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss another deep dive into the wild world of #hip-hop, #Kendrick Lamar, and #Young JOC. Because one thing's for sure, this isn't just music anymore. It's a movement. #the mirror stage, #rap culture, #evolution, #stay tuned. Stay tuned.